It's your boy Lit Dennis back with a... Okay, no, I'm joking. But I have been meaning to make this video as to basically just answer the question, why did I choose dentistry? And I honestly can say that it's not probably gonna be the answer that most people are thinking. Like, I don't have family members who were dentists, or my great granddad was a dentist, or dad or mom or dad was a dentist. No. First of all, I'm the first person in my family to graduate high school, graduate college, and I'll be the first doctor in my family. So the inspiration coming from other people or like other family members is very low. I was having this conversation with my mama the other day, and I think the question came up as to like, how did I didn't know that I've always wanted to be a dentist. And I was just kind of like thinking like, dang, like where was the point to where I like actually started to gain interest. And I remember, don't judge me, y'all, I was young. There was a time I was in elementary school and I had a really bad toothache. I'm talking about, it was crazy. The tooth was decayed. Don't listen, mind you, I was a kid, I didn't know no better. This was before I even know what a dentist was. And I remember when I finally went to the dentist to get this tooth taken out of my mouth, there was this dentist, I don't remember his name, but I remember it was the south side of Waco, Texas. Maybe this video will come across him one day and he'll reach out, but I doubt it. But anyways, yeah, that doctor was able to get the tooth out. It was basically root tips at this point, like the tooth had decayed so much. And if y'all know anything about black parents, they love to leave you somewhere. And I was telling my mom, I was like, yeah, like I actually do remember like the first encounter that I had with a dentist, and it was that day, because I actually ended up getting 2 teeth taken out, I believe. So they got the decayed tooth out, and that just alleviated so much pain, because I remember immediately prior to going to get that tooth taken out, I was in a nurse's office crying, like it was hurting that bad. Also, you can't blame my parents, because a lot of the times they don't know, like growing up in like a poverty environment, a lot of the things we are unaware of, and it's just like we don't be knowing. So this was like a step towards, you know, like educating ourselves and, you know, seeing mom in so much pain and yada yada yada. So they got the tooth out, I got another tooth extracted, and my mama just took forever to come and get me. So I was just in there like talking to the dentist, and I was just like asking him all these questions like, what are you? And he was telling me, you know, I'm a dentist, and you know, I work here. I remember he told me he worked there for 3 years. So I can't remember exactly what year it was, but he was like, yeah, I've been working here for like 3 years. And I was like, you know, I think at the time I was telling him like I have an interest in dentistry, but I was probably telling him that I wanted to be a dental assistant or a dental hygienist or something like that. And he was helping me, you know, filter through the different careers. Like he was helping me understand like you have dental assistant, and then dental hygienist, and then dentist, which is what I am. And I remember I asked him, you know, how much do you make? And he was like, you know, I make pretty good money. Mind y'all, I was in like elementary school, so this had to be like 2000 and something. Like it was early, mid 2000s, I think, something like that. But yeah, man, this dentist was just having this wholesome conversation with this little child. And I think from that point on, I was like, dang, like, you know, he was cool. So, you know, if you watch my previous videos, you can understand like the progression from that one conversation, and, you know, progressively throughout my educational journey. So yes, I've always thought that being a dentist was far-fetched. So me telling people that I wanted to be a dentist like early on was like, I didn't want them to like kind of shoot down my dreams, I would say. So I knew in the back of my mind, like, I always wanted to be a dentist, but I didn't want to tell people because I didn't want them to be like, you know how people be. But aside from that initial conversation, which is, educated me on exactly what a dentist was, there's other reasons that I want to become a dentist, or I wanted to become a dentist. It's because, one, I love helping people, and I feel like I've had this conversation with people in my class and like other folks as to I'm such a caring person that, my friends is bringing up the point as into like, do you ever feel like people can get over on you because like you're so nice to them and like you go out of your way and you do all these different things? And I was like, I can't think of it that way, because when I do things for people, although it might be helping them and they might get something out of it, I also get something out of it because doing those things make me feel good. So I was like, I don't know if I'll ever feel like somebody is getting over on me, because I get like satisfaction out of like doing stuff for other people. Like I can help other people. Like that's very satisfying. So that's one. I like helping people, and I love learning things. I realized that as I was going through college, like the more stuff that I learned, I was like, this is kind of crazy. Like I never thought about this. And, even with the whole periodic table thing, like when I first came across that, I was like, huh? Like it was really confusing, but I was like, it's also interesting at the same time. So, I want to be smart. Like I don't want to be like the person in the world who doesn't know a lot. So healthcare, knowledge. I have convinced myself to this point that I'm somewhat artistic. So I feel like I have an eye for different things, and I do get that compliment sometimes as to like, how do you, do X, Y, and Z, and it'll be like something that's aesthetic, and I'm just like, or somebody tell me, you have like a really aesthetic eye for like certain things, or just like pictures and stuff like that. Like I really like pictures. Like I don't know, I realized that it was actually like a skill when I got to dental school, that everybody don't understand the techniques of aesthetic things. And there was a girl that I met at the YMCA one day, and she was asking me, can I teach her how to be aesthetic? And I was like, I don't know, and that's when I started questioning, like, maybe I do somewhere have a gift of like, having an eye for certain things, like being able to look at something and be like, that's really nice, or it's missing this, or add this, or do this. So I think that's really cool. And I know that this is true because, even in dentistry, like we'll do like a prep, or we got to fabricate something for complete dentures. And I look at my stuff, and then I look at other people's stuff, and I'm like, no shade, but it's just like, I can see the difference, and I don't know if they can see the difference, because if they could, why does it look like that? And there's no shade to like the people in my class. It's just, it was an example that I had to use to get my point across. So being artistic, another thing, I'm also working on a painting. I just be doing random stuff. I also do I'm also like in the middle of doing pottery. I'm not gonna show y'all because I've only done one project that I have right now. So yeah. Another thing is I love teeth. I was very insecure about my teeth when I got to high school. I guess my frontal lobe was starting to develop a little bit, and I was starting to realize that, I'm actually insecure about my smile. So I used to laugh. I used to like cover my mouth and stuff. I'm like, what the? And I had never done that a day in my life until I realized that in high school, and I was like, dang. So at that point, I was like, Mama, I have to get braces. Like, this is not okay. Like, I feel like I don't even want to talk at school because my teeth are messed up. So I finally got braces, and my orthodontist, her name was Lisa Kearns, and I can't remember. It's in Waco, obviously, but Lisa Kearns, I forgot the name of her practice, Dr. Lisa Kearns, put my braces on, put me on a payment plan, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm about to pay this. At the time, braces were like $7,000. So me and my mom was struggling to trying to pay that $200 and some bill every month. And yeah, that was like when I first got the braces, I was still a little bit insecure, but like my teeth had started to shift so quick that I could gradually see like this, birth of a different person. So when I was getting towards the end of my treatment, or when my teeth were just getting straighter, like everything was, in alignment, I was like, I think this lady just changed my life. So, and I mentioned her in my personal statement for dental school, and I was just saying like she was like monumental to the person that I am today. And I don't think she knows that because we didn't really have like that much of a relationship. But that whole experience, even though as an orthodontist you don't even see, or as a patient, and when you go to the orthodontist you don't even necessarily see your doctor that much, and she still had that that effect on me. So I thought that was really cool, and I was like, you know what, I want to have this same effect on other people. Although I don't want to be an orthodontist, even going back to the first general dentist that I had, that I can remember that I saw, who extracted the decayed tooth from my mouth, I'm like, he really made a big difference to my life. Like, it was like one day I was like in severe pain, and then when he took it out, I was like, thank God. Like, I woke up the next day and I was like, I feel normal. So it's just like those type of experiences are really great, and I want to have that same effect for other folk. And that's even if I have to, although I'm going into cosmetic dentistry, my patient pool might be a little bit different and a little bit skewed to what or the type of community that I came from growing up. I still want to be able to have that ability, to go back to, elementary school, or go back to my neighborhood and, like educate people on certain things because I have the knowledge. So I think that's really cool. And those are the reasons I want to become a dentist, because and plus nobody, if you're from Waco, Texas, and you watch my videos, I think it's safe to say, coming from the neighborhoods that I came up from, I grew up in Parkside Villages, Waco, Texas, and Trentwood Apartments. And also, it's this place they call the Projects. So I lived in all three of those places. Some of the worst places you can live in Waco, Texas, as far as crime rate and just, living situations, like all type of stuff. So to be able to come from that, and now I'm about to be a dentist in like 25 months. How cool is that? Like, I'll be the first person basically to ever do this. Like, there's nobody that can say that they did this. So it's like, for everybody else that come, like, there may be other people that's, about to start the same process that came from similar neighborhoods where I'm from. It's like I'm paving the way for a whole new generation of things versus it being something like bad. Because obviously, it's a small town, and we got some people. We got, a couple people who made it in rap, and we got a couple people in the NBA. But it's like, this is a whole new lane that people, most people are probably not even thinking about. So obviously they can't really like grasp it as much, because they can't, most, black communities, they can't necessarily like see the vision until that person gets there. Like, nobody was saying like, or like was like rooting for like the people who actually made it like super, super hard until they made it. And then everybody was like, oh my God, like, I want to rap too. I want to try to go to the NBA. Now it's like, when I become a dentist, I hope people have that same reaction, because it's very similar, if not better, because longevity. I mean, like if you're an NBA player, you're gonna be rich AF, but the odds of it is kind of low. Like we got out of all the basketball players we have, and also, we also have a couple people in the NFL. Out of all those people, what I can think of is, let's just say 5 in those 3 categories. Those are like generational talents that's just strictly from that city that made it out. But think about how many people tried. Versus dentistry is honestly in a way easier because it's all dependent on you. Like you don't really have to have a God-given talent to be a dentist, and becoming a dentist can set you up forever. So I always tell people that rappers and I mean, like, being a rapper is cool, but when you think about it holistically, most people want to be rappers for the money, you know, the girls, stuff like that, but it's not really ideal long term. Like you might be a rapper and you might have, you know, a good song and it might last for, you know, 2 or 3 years. But you can be a dentist and just work, like you could just work and just make money forever. Like my professors are 80 years old. Just think about how much money they've made over their lifetime, and they still making 200 plus thousand just, you know, doing this. Just waking up every day 8 to 5, you know. And think about the rappers that were popular while we were in middle school. There's only like one that's still relevant. Soulja Boy. I mean, like, you got like the mega stars, but like all the other people is kind of just they're no longer. So it's something to think about. But this is the reason that I want to be a dentist, and I hope y'all enjoy. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be trying to upload videos at least once a month. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoy this video. Peace. It's Lit Dentist. It actually, to end from here on out, when I graduate, y'all, I'm going by Dr. Christian. Okay, bye.